live Facebook record sale. When you are on and watching, be sure to let us know. We're going to get started in just a moment. Because in the meantime, we're going to start sharing and getting this ready to go. Mike Massey, first one on, I see. Thank you, Mike, for joining us tonight. Someone's calling the store phone, probably wanting to know why we're not live. Sorry, we don't answer the phone while we're live on Facebook. All right. Let me go group here. Whole lot of records. All right, get that shared everywhere. I don't think I even made a hot post for tonight. As usual, we like to just go in blind. Never know what you're going to see. Copy link. Let me go over here to Instagram and get it shared on our story. Let's use this right here. And link. And live now. All right. There we go. So now, let's go to chat. And I think we're ready to sell records. So when you're on and with us, like I said, be sure to let us know. I've already shared everywhere. I hope that you do the same thing. I would really appreciate it. Let me get my camera slightly adjusted. I've got new Japanese stuff, finally. I'm excited when we have new Japanese stuff. And it looks like Paul's got us great new arrivals. I think we're going to do a couple things maybe even different for tonight's sale. I think we're going to, at some point tonight, maybe go to the back and go through some old bins and see what's back there. This was our warm-up crate from yesterday, so we don't need to go through that one again. I do have just a little bit of new vinyl. I put in some huge orders yesterday. We have, Funkos. We show them, we sell them. I posted a pre-order. What's crazy about Funkos is, there's a lot that's music-related, but we also sell so many here in the store. I keep a big wall of Funkos, and like every day there's one or two missing, and then of course after the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like that whole big wall of Funkos I've made is reduced. So I spent hours last night back ordering Funkos. I ordered a ton that was in stock, and then I ordered supplies and new vinyl. And me and Tanner was working on a project, and we were actually, I was on distributors' websites for a good solid 7-8 hours last night. Probably 8 hours. I was on multiple different websites ordering stuff. And so Tanner was working on this project. I was ordering stuff, and there was this, if all those Funkos come in together at once, it's going to be wild because it was a lot. But also new vinyl. I went through all kinds of different artists and back-ordered stuff. So if all that comes in this week, we'll have some heck of some new merchandise arrivals, puzzles, supplies, all kinds of different records or all kinds of different items. So let's go through this first crate. I think this was some new arrivals. I believe this was some new arrivals. It's a lot of stuff from the end of last week and then those Beck albums from last night. So let's just take a look at it. Then I'll show you the few new LPs that came in as well. So, Luke Combs, this one's called Growing Up. Luke Combs, Growing Up, that is $31.99 for Luke Combs Growing Up. Also have REM Monster. Monster is a 25th anniversary edition that is remastered from the analog tapes. $31.99 from REM Monster. And it's always been popular, but it just seems like lately so many people trying to pick up Van Morrison's Moondance. And this is the only copy I have that is a U.S. press. And this is $33.99. This is Van Morrison Moondance, $33.99. Luke Combs, this one's for you too, as in T-O-O, because he has another album with a very similar title. But this one features, this is a gatefold. I believe it's a 2LP. It is $33.99. Luke Combs, this one's for you too. And then there's this one's for you. That one is $28.99. Luke Combs, this one's for you. $28.99. Radiohead, OK Computer. When these go out, it seems like they're out of print forever or out of stock forever. We're lucky to have several on hand, and that's Radiohead's OK Computer, $46.99. Van Morrison, this is his band and the Street Choir. That's on limited edition turquoise vinyl. That is $28.99. His band and the Street Choir, $28.99 on that. Luke Combs, Getting Old. I think that's one of his most recent releases, $39.99. Luke Combs, Getting Old, $39.99. Speaking of this album, of course, it has his cover of Tracy Chapman's Fast Car. And I got excited. I saw kind of a solicitation from my main distributor about a Tracy Chapman's Greatest Hits. I was like, oh, finally, Tracy Chapman. It's a CD-only release, Tracy Chapman's Greatest Hits. And I was like, man, there must be something up. They must be somebody putting the kibosh on not wanting her stuff pressed on vinyl. So Chris Kirkley wants Luke Getting Old. That's sold to Chris Kirkley. So George Buchanan on Radiohead, Chris Kirkley and Luke Combs. So Tracy Chapman does have a new release coming out, Greatest Hits, but it's CD only. I may post it anyway as a pre-order just because her stuff is so difficult to get. We have Talking Heads, Fear of Music, $31.99. Sherry, I am positive we have received your messages. And Craig, Craig, that record, it's currently MIA. We're trying to figure out what happened to that Eels record. Tanner's positive he tagged your name on it, and it is MIA. So, and Sherry, we will reply to you tonight, I promise. Talking Heads, Fear of Music, $31.99. Talking Heads, we have the Rancantors, Help a Stranger, $26.99. Rancantors, Help a Stranger, $26.99. I think the hype sticker is usually up here. This is $26.99. And we have Luke Combs, Growing Up, $31.99. Luke Combs, Growing Up. So, several Luke Combs albums already. I'll go over those one more time in just a second. I know they get confusing on the titles, or at least they do for me. Morgan Wallen, Dangerous, the double album, which is actually a triple album, $49.99. And The Best of Bon Jovi, this is limited edition, red vinyl, limited edition red vinyl, $46.99. $46.99. What you see ain't always what you get. Luke Combs, that is a 3 LP, $39.99. What you see ain't always what you get. And what you see is what you get, $33.99. Van Morrison, Astral Weeks. So that was the third Van Morrison record in there. This one's Astral Weeks. We also still have Moondance and his band and the Street Choir. The Zombies, Odyssey and Oracle. That is on, that's a Kraft remaster, $31.99. Zombies, the Odyssey and Oracle, $31.99. The Avett Brothers, I and Love and You. The Avett Brothers is $46.99. And Post Malone, Austin. This is his newest album. It's on green vinyl, $46.99. Now I'm going to move this to the front of the crate because it's a 10-inch release, and sometimes it gets hidden. But this is another Luke Combs. It's called The Trilogy. That's a 10-inch, and that is $16.99. $16.99. The Black Crowes Lines, $39.99 for the Black Crowes Lines, $39.99. And if you've seen enough Luke Combs, get ready for the run of all the Beck albums that we had last night. We have Beck Gurulito, $44.99. Kevin Black Fox on the Zombies, Odyssey and Oracle. That's sold to Kevin Black Fox. We also have Beck Morning Phase, Beck Modern Guilt, Beck Colors, Beck Guro, Beck Mutations, and then U2 Singles, which is 18 singles. It's a 2 LP compilation, $36.99. Poison, Open Up and Say Ah, is $33.99. Green Day Dookie, $28.99. And Red Hot Chili Peppers Californication, $44.99. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything in there. If you've sent us a message about an invoice correction, which was Sherry and Dwayne and Craig and Troy. Troy, I got all of your records ordered last night. Troy, I got all those ordered for you. I don't know if they'll be in this week, but they probably will be. Let's see here. Scotty Hops. Happy birthday, Scotty Hops. 50. I was going to ask how old you were. I was already, I saw those comments already coming in that say happy birthday. Scotty Hops, 51 years old today. So you've already been over the hill. You was at the top of the hill. Now you're on the way down. Happy birthday, Scotty Hops. Congratulations. Another year around the sun. 365 days. Okay, any Luke Combs LPs? We got a couple. We also have Monica Malley on Bon Jovi's Greatest Hits. That's on red vinyl. That's sold to Monica Malley. Kevin Blackfox, we do have the Joshua Tree. We do have the Joshua Tree. It is a 2LP remaster. It includes a book, and it sounds amazing. This is $44.99. YouTube the Joshua Tree. That is an essential, $44.99. Our music's still playing. I hear Led Zeppelin. I hear Misty Mountain Hop playing. I hate to turn that off, but we don't want any music being picked up in the background because Facebook will mute this feed, and then y'all won't be able to hear what I'm saying. You'll just be seeing my hands. Kevin Blackfox says he'll take U2 Joshua Tree. I do have other U2 albums. We went on a busy B streak of U2 sales last night. I need to get out a couple more. Will you be getting more Bon Jovi? I can get you one if you want. Anything in the new department, I can always get more. It's just a matter of if and when. And the only thing you have to do is say, I want on the waiting list. They may be in this week. They may be in next week, or they may be in next month. I'll show you a prime one that we got in tonight in the next crate that has been out of stock for about a month. So we have Luke Combs, Growing Up, $31.99. Luke Combs, Growing Up, $31.99. REM Monster, $31.99. Let me just run through these titles one more time. Van Morrison, Moondance. We also have Luke Combs. Luke Combs. Stacy, I've got Barbie ordered for you. If they're not in this week, they should be in first of next week. Luke Combs, Radiohead. They should be in this week, though. Van Morrison, Luke Combs. Rancantors, Talking Heads. Luke Combs. Morgan Wallen. Luke Combs. Mr. Luke. More Van Morrison, the Averitt Brothers, Post Malone. Troy, I've already got this. This should have been on your last invoice, Troy. You should have already been tagged for that one. Black Crowes Lines, that's on pink vinyl. Beck, 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 more Beck, U2, Poison, Green Day, Red Hot Chili Peppers, and Luke Combs. George Buchanan needs to put back Radiohead, OK Computer. Let me set this newest bin right over here, and I'll actually bring up the short but sweet bin of stuff that came in today. Just like one box. Sometimes on Wednesdays we have a ton of new vinyl. Sometimes it doesn't get here till Thursday, but here's a couple things. They're not really many new releases, but it's a couple in here of an artist we've never had before. So John Howard wants the Raconteurs. There's the OK Computer being put back. If anybody wants it, it's $46.99. Let me pull that. And no update yet on Warpaint. No update yet on Warpaint. Now, my main distributor I contacted about the Wolfgang Van Halen, the Mammoth Wolfgang Van Halen 2, his second album. I do have some on hand. I have a small, very, very small quantity on hand of the autographed Wolfgang Van Halen. We hadn't touched them. I don't want to tell anybody that you are or are not getting one until I know exactly how many I'm getting from multiple different places. I got 2 other emails back today saying, Chad, they're all gone. He hardly signed or made any of these. So, by the way, Rancantors, so did John Howard. So I was thinking when they solicited this pre-order for an autographed indie exclusive, it would be pretty much, at least a bunch of them. But I think it was very limited, which on the colored vinyl and the autograph, which is the same thing. The autograph and the colored vinyl is the same thing. So I may see how many we get by the end of the week, let everybody know, and then I may just put up a new one for black vinyl. So there is probably almost 200 pre-orders we have for the yellow vinyl autographed, and we may get 10% of those. And that's what's looking like everybody's allocation is. About 10% of whatever you ordered is probably what you're going to get. So, Slayer, Decade of Aggression, live, 2LP, $39.99. Slayer, Decade of Aggression, $39.99. So what I'll do is I'll go to the original pre-order that wasn't even for the autograph and indie exclusive. It was for the indie exclusive, but we didn't know it was going to go autograph. I'll see who the first 15, 20 people were to comment, and those people will probably be getting the autographed one. So that's why I say whenever I post a pre-order, if you think you're going to want it, comment immediately so you can get in line in case it ever is allocated. So make sure you get in on that. So it looking like maybe the first 15 or 20 people who posted on the original pre-order. There's 2 different posts for that. There's the original pre-order, and then there's another post that I made saying, hey, these are actually going to have some autographed inserts with them. And whoever was the first 15 or 20 on that original. And then I'll figure out what other color that we're going to get, and we'll do it for that. So if there's just black vinyl, and there's going to be a bunch of those, it looks like, then I'll probably just post a whole new order and see if anybody else wants that one. Dropkick Murphys, The Meanest of Times, $36.99. So Mike Massey right off the bat on that one. I believe this is new. It's on clear, limited edition, clear green vinyl. Slayer, A Decade of Aggression, $39.99. Slayer, Decade of Aggression. We can put down John Young and Shakedown and George Buchanan on Wolfgang, but I'm not for sure if I guess they just want on that extended wait list for the indie exclusive, which I don't know if we're actually going to get anymore. Dropkick Murphys, $36.99. So still got both of those. Volbeat, Outlaw Gentlemen, and Shady Ladies. Volbeat is $33.99. $33.99. Volbeat, Outlaw Gentlemen, and Shady Ladies. $33.99. There's one Volbeat. Let me go ahead and show Duran Duran. Got another one of these in. It's on purple and yellow vinyl. That is $39.99. That's Thanksgiving Live, the Ultra Chrome Latex and Steel Tour. Pam, Greta Van Fleet is the crystal clear vinyl, $34.99. $34.99. If you want that, I have them in stock. Slayer, Eddie Manning, Decade of Aggression is $39.99. Pam said yes on Greta Van Fleet. George Buchanan on Dropkick Murphys. That's to Dropkick Murphys. Looks like this Volbeat's one of their top streaming albums, and it was low stock, so I went ahead and grabbed those. And we have another one, which is called Guitar Gangsters and Cadillac Blood. That's on glow-in-the-dark, I believe, green vinyl, $29.99 for Volbeat. So 2 different Volbeats in there. Satan is Real, the Louvin Brothers. This actually got a reissue. This is a really tough album to find an original of. I've only ever had 2. I had one that was completely trashed, and then I had one from Fred Goodwin's collection that was actually mint, and it was autographed, and we had that a couple years ago. The Louvin Brothers. This is Satan is Real. It's a gatefold, $31.99. $31.99. All right, so we pulled Dropkick Murphys. We pulled Greta Van Fleet. John Howard wants a Slayer. I've got 1 Slayer left if anybody wants those. Walt Cruz on Duran Duran. I don't know if we've already tagged you for one or not, Walt. If there's no waiting list. I don't remember because this is like the 5th restock for this, so there's a chance that it's already come in before, but I'll go ahead and give you this one now. So that is sold to Walt Cruz. And we have the 80s Pure Pop album. This was actually supposed to be a new release for like a month ago. I only ordered one and it never did come in, but it looks like a pretty solid compilation. $39.99. Wham, Dead or Alive, Duran Duran, Spandau Ballet, Aha, Human League, Lamal, Matthew Wilder, and that is a 80s Pure Pop album, $39.99. I only have one of those. Next new comment is Mike Massey on the 80s Pure Pop comp, and we'll take a waiting list for those. Chris Kirkley on Volbeat Outlaw, which is this one right here. This is sold to Chris Kirkley. Also on that 80s comp waiting list, we'll do Stacy Metternich, Jerry Stone, and Paul Brothers. So probably what we'll do is that's probably now just arriving, and I can get more. So if anybody else wants on that waiting list, let me know. It looked like a really good compilation, $39.99. And we got one more of the Brian May from Queen. This is Brian May and Friends Starfleet Project featuring Eddie Van Halen, $36.99. Amy says, let me have that Volbeat too. Well, there's 2 in here. There's Outlaw Gentlemen. If that's the one you're talking about, Amy, then I'll give that one to you. And that's also the one C. William Pop wants. So we'll give that to him. And it looks like Tony Doyle gets that last copy of Slayer, Decade of Aggression Live. We'll give that to Tony Doyle. And I knew that was a short but sweet crate. And the only thing left is Brian May, Satan is Real, So Depressed and Rose, the Louvin Brothers. And that leaves the other 2 Volbeat albums, which is Guitar Gangsters and Cadillac Blood. That's glow-in-the-dark vinyl, $29.99. Brian May and Dropkick Murphys. Just a few titles left in there. Let me put those just right back here. Let me just put those right back here. We pretty much emptied that crate, but there wasn't much on there. Does that Slayer have Skeletons of Society on it? Tanner, look on the back of that and see if there's a track called Skeletons of Society on that one. the Slayer Decade of Aggression. See if there's a track called that. All right, let's go ahead and get started with Japanese auctions. I've got a whole crate of new Japanese auctions. Let's get rolling righty now with, we test played this yesterday, Jim Croce Custom 20 and Foreigner's Greatest Hits. We got new Japanese arrivals. Let's get these going right now. Jim Croce Custom 20 and Foreigner's Greatest Hits. I'm going to show them in detail in just a second, but those are near mint minus Japanese pressings, and they're $35 starts. Slayer Decade, that was the top one there. I don't see that. Okay, that track is not on there. That track is not on there, Dan Benedict. Not on there. Let's see. Okay, Slayer was pressed to QRP. Wow, that's pretty cool. Which Iron Maiden? I have not shown an Iron Maiden record tonight. Unless you see one in the foreground, I do not see it. Craig just posted the track list for Foreigner. And Jim Croce. I'll do that one in just a second, or I'll show both of those. Paul Prost records today. Wednesday is usually, Paul's here. He's actually doing his radio show right now. He does a radio show in Nashville where he plays deep cut classic psychedelia and garage tracks, mostly psychedelia and deep cuts from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and sometimes even 90s. He was playing some Radiohead the other day. He's got his 3 new crates of vintage arrivals priced for tonight. This first one is new check condition. This is new check condition stuff that Paul has got us priced. Probably what we're going to do tonight, we've got 3 crates of new vintage stuff. And a lot of the albums I want to go through, we haven't done in a long time. If our internet connection will work, I may have to reconnect or maybe even come back for a part 2. But I would like to spend some time either A, going through some of our new vinyl alphabetical order bins, or we can go through some vintage bins in the back and where we have to physically move this cart. But first thing, we're going to go through this bin here of new check condition. So Tanner says we have the battery to do it. So good. Bob Dylan in concert. Brandeis University, 1963, pressed at RTI. That is sealed. It's never been opened. $29.99. Babe Ruth is $17.99. This looks like it's in shrink wrap on the Harvest label. Babe Ruth, that's a self-titled album, I'm pretty sure. Charm World, Y-O. Charm World, $11.99. Looks like from 1985. Charm World, yo. John Fox, The Garden, includes free book church, $19.99. John Fox, The Garden. Mike Morgan and The Crawl, Raw and Ready, $9.99. And Cat Stevens, Buddha, and the Chocolate Box, $19.99. Let me show these auctions in detail. These are $35 starts. Foreigner Records is essentially a Foreigner Greatest Hits, which is all their classic tracks. This is a $35 start, near mint minus and pristine Japanese quality LP. Cover is actually a gatefold, looks just like a tabletop jukebox selector, and that's a $35 start for Foreigners Records. And then also Jim Croce Custom 20. I don't see a lot of Japanese Jim Croce. This is on the Philips label. It's an awesome compilation. We were test playing it, and it sounds really, really good. This is a $35 start. There's the cover with Obi, and it has just a little bit of spots of discoloration on it, and that's a $35 start. $35 start. So Foreigner and Jim Croce, those are both $35 starts. George Duke, Liberated Fantasies. George Duke is $19.99. Also, The Doors' Greatest Hits, $34.99. This one looks exceptionally nice. Also has the original inner sleeve, $34.99 on The Doors' Greatest Hits. That is a great compilation. Dr. Demento, Demento's Mementos, $19.99 for Dr. Demento. Romelu on George Duke, that's sold to Romelu. We have Dr. John Plays Mac Ribbenack maybe. Never seen that one before from Dr. John, $24.99. James Cohorn first on Dr. Demento. Romelu got the George Duke. James Cohorn got Dr. Demento. And Jabbo Smith, The Trumpet Ace of the 20s, Volume 2. Jabbo Smith, Trumpet Ace of the 20s, Volume 2. $9.99. $9.99. The new Tony Williams Lifetime, Believe It, $19.99. Obscure Ripper with Alan Holdsworth, $19.99. The new Tony Williams lifetime. That's $19.99. This is the Black Keys, I believe. Yes, this is the Black Keys Cholahoma picture disc, $29.99. The Black Keys Cholahoma picture disc, that's $29.99. Paul sent me a gallery of photos for the hot pictures. Most of these right here were supposed to be in that gallery, and I just never got around to posting them to advertise for tonight's sale. Golden Underground Cam Mullins. Golden Underground Cam Mullins, $9.99. And Horizontal Band Vertical, $9.99. Final call on these auctions. If you want to bid, $35 or $35. If not, I'm about to make them a buy it now for $35, and that's Foreigner's Records, a.k.a. Greatest Hits, and Jim Croce Custom 20, a.k.a. Jim Croce's Greatest Hits. Dr. John price, that was $24.99. Dr. John plays Mac Rebenak, maybe. $24.99 on Dr. John. Bob Dylan, Down in the Groove, is $24.99 for Bob Dylan, Down in the Groove from 1988. I think that's like a live acoustic show. Johnny Rivers, Realization, EX Condition, $9.99. That's a UK import. Also, Morgan has his name written on the cover and on the label. That's a UK copy, EX Condition, $9.99. Joe Bagwell on Dr. John. And yes, The Doors was $34.99. Near mint copy of The Doors' Greatest Hits. Rick Wakeman, The Myths and the Legends of King Arthur. Looks like it has where somebody had to peel a sticker off the cover. Other than that, the vinyl's EX, and that is $16.99. The Nightcaps, Wine, 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 the Nightcaps, in shrink wrap, EX $17.99. This looks like an older record to be in shrink wrap for sure. Let's see here if we can get a year on this. Not really for sure, but that is EX $27.99. Michael Nath wants the Doors' Greatest Hits, and if anybody wants these auctions, they're a $35 buy it now. I guarantee, most likely, possibly, they're both going to get sold for a buy it now. $35 buy it now on the Foreigner and the Jim Croce. $35 buy it now on that. Earl Scruggs Review, EX copy, $12.99. Earl Scruggs Review. And Odyssey. Odyssey is VG Plus, $12.99. This is actually a compilation. I think I used to show this record and call it Odyssey self-titled, but it's actually a compilation. Rick Wakeman, Rita Coolidge, Straubs, Sandy Denny's on here. It's artists from A&M Records without really looking at it. There's Joan Armatrading, Paul Williams, Quincy Jones is on here. Okay, first to the Foreigner. Several people, as expected. We have Foreigner's Greatest Hits sold to Mark Querom. Gina Charles was second. Fred Carnell was third. Eric Smalley was fourth. I wish y'all would have all bid on it. That would have been much better. Brent McKinney fifth. So that still leaves Jim Croce's Custom 20. It's a Jim Croce Japanese compilation. Sounds fantastic. We were listening to it yesterday. All those great songs. It's a $35 buy it now. Larry Coryell with John Schofield and Joe Beck, Tributaries. That's VG Plus, $9.99. Ravi Shankar is a VG copy, $9.99. The bottom seam is slightly split, VG $9.99. And Steppenwolf, 16 Greatest Hits, VG $9.99. Steppenwolf 16's Greatest Hits, VG copy, $9.99. Okay, our next Japanese auctions is going to be Emmylou Harris. I'm doing them from the front of the bin. Not even skipping around. Emmylou Harris and Eric Clapton, Another Ticket. These are going to be just $25 starts. They're both near mint, minus, and pristine. Eric Clapton, Another Ticket. $25 start. Very clean, super nice Japanese vinyl for a $25 start. There's the Japanese insert. This one is pretty much, let me look at it, really a top copy. That is a $25 start. $25 start for Eric Clapton, Another Ticket. And then Emmylou Harris, Cimarron, I believe is how you say that. That's how I've always said it. Have yet to been corrected, so we're going to stick with Emmylou Harris, Cimarron. It kind of looks like cinnamon, but I know it's not that. $25 start. There's the Japanese insert. There is the other Japanese insert, and there's the Emmylou Harris, also a top copy, $25 start on that. Okay, so going back up to the top, who got Foreigner? Foreigner went to Mark Querom for $35. Mark was first on that. We've already got bids on Eric Clapton for $25 and $25. For those experienced connection problems, I can promise you it's not us because we are plugged into a hardwired Ethernet connection. We are plugged in via Ethernet. I don't know, maybe we need to unplug from Ethernet, but no, we're not on Wi-Fi. But I'm seeing everybody's comments. I usually don't address those because I promise you it's nothing that we can do about it. It's usually just somewhere in the Facebook world. Sometimes things don't work too well out in the Facebook world, but I think if our connection may not be great tonight, but if anything, it's like watching a video that has hiccups. Well, that sucks. It sucks for us too, because if y'all can't watch well, that means you can't buy well. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll just keep going and see what happens. So if it gets really bad, we'll try. Here in a minute, we're gonna roll this card around anyway. We'll connect to my hotspot on my phone and see if that helps. So, okay. So let me go back up to the top. Eric Clapton 25, Eric Clapton 25, Emmylou 25, Emmylou 25, Emmylou 27, Emmylou 35, and we have Dr. Hook EX 1699. Tanner says our internet connection looks fine, and it's on Facebook. So sometimes it's a Facebook problem. You know, like I've said, Facebook is pretty much the most used app in the world at most any given time, and there's a lot of people, and sometimes they just have bugs. And if you go watch on YouTube, it's usually pretty clear, and it's like that usually all the time. I usually encourage anybody to go watch on YouTube, but some people don't want to watch on Facebook, which is fine, but usually that's where the issues are. Bayou Country, Creedence Clearwater Revival. This is a 1969 VG Plus 29.99. Bayou Country. This is a Liberty pressing, an original UK pressing of Bayou Country. VG Plus 29.99. John Duran wants Dr. Hook. That's so to John Duran. Simon and Garfunkel, Bridge Over Troubled Water. EX Condition 17.99. Original Columbia 2i label. EX 17.99. John Young wants CCR. John Young wants CCR. And Booker T and the MGs, Hip Hug Her. Booker T is a 67 Monarch, VG Condition, 1999. And Alice Cooper, Billion Dollar Babies, a quad pressing, quadraphonic pressing, VG Plus 34.99. VG Plus 34.99. The Seeds, mono. Paul says it plays better than it looks. He play tested this one. It's VG minus 1999. VG minus 1999. John, this was not a hype sticker. It's actually on the cover that way. Bayou Country CCR Revival. So if you're wanting to put that back, that is a $500 restocking fee, and John Young is technically now in the lead for putbacks. Next will be Carol Puckett. CCR is still available if anybody wants it. Marshall Bassett first to Alice Cooper. Craig Johnson was second, and Jamie Butler was third. Let me update everybody on our auctions. We have Eric Clapton, another ticket. Eric Clapton, another ticket, is at 25 with Michael Nath. Michael Nath was in first on this. Brent, you also bid 25, but Michael was in first, and no one else has bid since then. Then Marshall Bassett bid 35 on Emmylou Harris. Nobody else has bid since then. That's going once, going twice. Going once, going twice on both of those. 25 and 35. Meet the Beatles is a VG Plus, $49.99. Almost EX, it is a 64 mono, Scranton press with ASCAP rights, but no producer credit, USC. VG Plus, $49.99. $49.99. Puff is EX $29.99. This is on a promo label. USC means ultrasonically clean, by the way. USC means ultrasonically clean. That's on a promo label. That's called Puff. That's EX $29.99. It's a promo label. All right, so we did get a new bid on Eric Clapton, 26.26, now 30 and 38. John Lill was at 31. George Buchanan's at 38. Jeff Beck, Truth. VG Plus, $54.99. It's a 68 UK press. We have ultrasonically cleaned it. VG Plus, $54.99. It has been ultrasonically cleaned. VG Plus condition. That's a UK pressing from 68 of Jeff Beck Truth. Also about a VG cover. All right, so we have new bids on Emmylou Harris. It's now at 40, and Eric Clapton's at 38. Let's see. We have, let me go back up to the top, make sure I didn't miss any other claims. I don't think I did. Kiss, Unmasked, VG Plus, $34.99, 1980 SRC press. No poster, does have that original inner sleeve. VG Plus condition on Kiss Unmasked. And The Seeds, Future. I believe that's what that one's called. Yeah, Future. That's also a VG minus in mono, $19.99. The Seeds, Future, VG minus, $19.99. 2013, Carl Rayner and Mel Brooks, EX condition, $12.99. The Rolling Stones, Undercover, VG, $22.99. It's in shrink wrap with hop stickers. The Rolling Stones, Undercover, VG, $22.99. Canned Heat, live at the Topacana Corral. Canned Heat is VG Plus, $17.99. And there is some notable cover damage on the back, on the spine, and the bottom seams. VG Plus, $37.99. Okay, so we have Emmylou Harris, and we have Eric Clapton. We have EC and EH up for bid. The high bid for Eric Clapton just came in, 34 and now 35 with Michael Nath. Michael Nath has that for 35. Emmylou Harris is at 40 with Marshall Bassett. Emmylou Harris is at 40 with Marshall Bassett. That's where we're at on those. Nigel Del Rocket was first on the Rolling Stones. That's so to Nigel Del Rocket, and Eric Smalley was second. Josh at Midnight. Josh White sings with the talents of Sam Gary vocal and Al Hall bass. VG minus, $11.99. This is a 1956 second press in mono. VG minus, $11.99. Josh White. Moth the Hoople, Mad Shadows. That's a VG copy for $14.99. Shazam, which is a Move, which has Jeff Lynne of ELO. VG Plus, $21.99. Shazam, that is VG Plus, $21.99. Oh, Waylon Jennings, VG Plus condition, $16.99. The Book of Taliesin, Deep Purple, that's VG for $14.99. Booker T and the MGs, Soul Limbo. Soul Limbo's a VG minus for $12.99. Quicksilver, What About Me, VG Plus $14.99. And Emmett Rhodes, Mirror, is a VG Plus $14.99. So, new high bid on Eric Clapton is 35, going once, going twice. New high bid on Emmylou Harris is 50, and Marshall Bassett wants the Waylon Jennings. John Leal's back in on Eric Clapton at 36. Let me pull that Waylon for Marshall, and Michael Nath's right back in on Clapton at 38. So it looks like the Emmylou's between George and Marshall, and Eric Clapton's between John and Michael Nath. I'm going to read through these titles just one more time. If you need prices, let me know. If not, I'm going to go straight into our next crate as soon as we go through this one again. For some of those that tune in just to see our new Japanese arrivals, we have a whole crate full tonight. We're going to put up every one of them up for auction between now and whenever we sign off for the night. So the first record, I'm going to tell prices on some of them. This is Bob Dylan in concert, 1963. It is sealed. It's pressed at RTI. That's $29.99. Bob Dylan, 1963, sealed, RTI pressing. Babe Ruth. We also had Yo, or Y-O, I think that's Yo, Charm World, 1985. John Fox, Mike Morgan and the Crawl. Cat Stevens, Buddha in the Chocolate Box. Jabbo Smith. Michael Nath said he'll take the sealed Bob Dylan. That is sold to Michael Nath. The new Tony Williams Lifetime. This is the Black Keys Cholahoma. It's a picture disc, the Black Keys Cholahoma. Golden Underground, Cam Mullins. Horizontal Band, Vertical. Bob Dylan, Down in the Groove, $24.99 on that, near mint. Johnny Rivers, Realization, UK pressing. Rick Wakeman, The Nightcaps. The Earl Scruggs Review. Odyssey. Larry Coryell. Ravi Shankar. Steppenwolf 16 Greatest Hits. Simon & Garfunkel. Jackie, Golden Tracks is not a compilation. Golden Underground, is that the one you was asking about maybe? I don't think that's not a compilation. That's an actual album by Sam Mullins. And if there was a compilation here, I'll read you the tracks, but I don't think there was. High bid on Eric Clapton is 40. That's a final call because John Leal's out. Michael Nath has it for 40. And Marshall Bassett is now the high bidder on Emmylou Harris at 55. Those are mint, top copy Japanese pressings. Does Meet the Beatles. Paul has put on the back, let me read this first. Almost EX, he's graded at VG+. It's a 64 mono. It's a Scranton press with the ASCAP rights, but no producer credit. It has been ultrasonically clean. Does Meet the Beatles have BMI, ASSP after the song titles on the label? We'll find out. This says, I Want to Hold Your Hand, BMI, 2 minutes and 24 seconds. I Saw Her Standing There, ASCAP, 2 minutes and 50 seconds. So it looks like, yes, it does have the ASCAP rights, but no producer credit. VG Plus $49.99. So George is also out on Emmylou. That means I'm about to sell these for $40 and $55. Final call on those. Booker T and the MGs, Hip Hug Her. If you need price on these, let me know. The Seed, self-titled. Creedence is still available. It's a 69 UK pressing, VG Plus $29.99. 69 UK pressing, VG Plus $29.99. Puff is EX $29.99 for Puff. Jeff Beck Truth was VG Plus $54.99. Kiss is still available, unmasked. It's a VG Plus $34.99. The Seeds, Future. Carl Rayner and Mel Brooks, Canned Heat Live. Josh White, Mott the Hoople, The Move, Deep Purple, Booker T again, Quicksilver, and Emmett Rhodes. Let's go ahead and sell these auctions to Michael Nath, Eric Clapton $40, and on top of that one, Emmylou Harris for $55, Marshall Bassett. It's the third label, but first press. Canned Heat. Canned Heat Live is VG Plus $17.99, and there is some cover damage to it. Rob Schendel, The Move featuring Jeff Lynne is VG Plus $21.99. I think Jeff Lynne's on this one. He should be. VG Plus or Roy Wood. I don't know if Jeff Lynne's on this one or not. I see almost the songs written by Roy Wood. That's VG Plus $21.99. Kiss does not have poster or merchandise card. What genre is the Seeds? The Seeds is psychedelic, garage rock, psych rock, somewhere kind of in that realm. That was a Wayne Titsworth record for sure. I think some of these were from Wayne's collection. Wayne loved the Seeds. That was one of his bands. He was always looking for those in great condition, and they're not easy to find. Craig Johnson wants the Beatles. We'll go ahead and pull that. I'll make sure that whoever else asked about it, Nigel or John Young, doesn't want it. So it's a third label, but first press, it looks like. So these albums over the years have been looked at under microscopes, probably literally, all the different variations. So they're well documented when they were pressed and what version it is. But it looks like that's a third label, but first pressing. It's an early 64 Meet the Beatles. That's sold to Craig Johnson. The Josh White and Price. That was Josh White. It was called Live. I think that is a live album. Josh at Midnight. Maybe not live. It's Josh at Midnight. Josh White Sings. It's a 1956 second press mono VG minus $11.99. Greg, everything is sticker price right now. I will gladly sell them to you, but everything is sticker price from that last spin. We have CA Quintet, Last Trip at Lake Pepin. This is $19.99. Paul put psych, exclamation point. Probably something he enjoys listening to. Also, the Sons of Chaplin, A Circle Filled with Love, $14.99. America, Hearts. This is $19.99. Cool promo sticker. It is. This free promotional copy is provided, so that's a promo hype sticker on that one. America, $19.99. And Switch, Am I Still Your Boyfriend? $14.99. The Illusion is $14.99. The Illusion. Doesn't look like any of these are check condition. How High the Moon, the JATP All-Stars. That looks like very clean vinyl. $9.99. Michael Nath on Josh White. While I'm walking over here to grab this, let me grab our next two Japanese pressings, which are going to be another Eric Clapton, and we'll do the sequel to, well, actually, I grabbed the wrong one. I grabbed an E.T. soundtrack. That's okay. I was going to do the Staying Alive soundtrack. But Josh White sold to Michael Nath. James Bragg wants the CA Quintet. We have the E.T. soundtrack. E.T. the Extraterrestrial, music by John Williams. This is a $25 start. It is near, wow, very, very glossy. Near mint minus and pristine Japanese pressing of that. There's the insert with that. Iconic. $25 start. There's the cover. Very nice. Looks like there's almost no signs of wear anywhere on this one. $25 start. And also, just for a $25 start, is the Eric Clapton Rainbow Concert. Eric Clapton Rainbow Concert Another Clapton Japanese pressing, $25 start, and this one is pretty much no condition notes on the vinyl. The cover has just a couple noticeable signs of wear. Has a ding down here, a little bit of an edge wear, maybe light discoloration along the top of the obi. $25 start on E.T. and Eric Clapton Rainbow Concert. Pyramid. That looks interesting. Pyramid is $9.99. It's on the Bang label. Same thing as Neil Diamond was on. Tape Deck Mountain Echo Chamber Blues. Milky clear vinyl, $14.99. Technically rechanneled for stereo, or excuse me, electronically. Take It From the Man, the Brian Jonestown Massacre, $49.99. Red and blue vinyl, recommended by the guy on the back. Take It From the Man, the Brian Jonestown Massacre, $49.99. Paul says this is a recommendation from him. Take It From the Man, the Brian Jamestown Massacre. Acid Mother's Temple, the Melting Paradiso UFO. Can't really make that out too well. Awesome Noisy Psych Band, $29.99, if that's up your alley. Keith Emerson soundtrack to Nighthawks, soundtrack by Keith Emerson, $19.99. Little Gold, Wake Up and Die Right. That is sealed, unopened, $12.99. And the Striped Bananas. The Striped Bananas. We've got some interesting stuff in here for sure. Psych Garage Power Pop, the Striped Bananas, $14.99. That is sealed. Connie Archer, Forgiving, sealed, $9.99. Hank Williams Jr. Live, $19.99. Looks like it has the original inner sleeve with it. Hank Williams Jr. Live, $19.99. And Axis, AXXESS, Novels for the Moons on yellow vinyl, $22.99. Final call on Eric Clapton or E.T. for a $25 start if you want in on those. If you don't, they're about to be a buy it now for $25. So be it if you for sure want them. If not, they're about to be a buy it now. This artist is I believe, Noise Punk, $9.99. It looks like M-I-A-M-I. Veronica Bianqua, sealed, $14.99. Tracy Shed, The Carolinas, indie rock on colored vinyl, $11.99, sealed. It's a Beautiful Day, $9.99. It's a Beautiful Day, $9.99. Terrell and Paul have both bid on E.T. for $25. And we also have Living in the Jungle. This is brown vinyl psych punk, $17.99. So Paul's at 25 on E.T. Now 28, I mean. Terrell was in first. Paul's back in at 28. Mount Reader Holographic Phase psych on clear vinyl, $14.99. Those Who Came Never Before, Acid Mother's Temple and the Melting Paradiso UFO, pink vinyl. Another psych record, $26.99. This is Kill Your Idols, 12-inch LP, hardcore circa 96-97. $54.99, gold with oxblood splatter, Kill Your Idols, $54.99. The Swells, Inner Migrations, $19.99. The band that Paul was in. Wow. Paul was in a band, the Inner Migrations. I believe this is one of his records. $19.99. Alan Jackson, Where Have You Gone? Walmart exclusive on black and white swirl vinyl. That is sealed, unopened for $24.99. Stevie Lee wants Acid Mother's Temple. Now, I have this one. There was one earlier. I'm assuming you want this one, though. That's sold to Stevie Lee, $26.99. Matchbox 20s, Walmart Matchbox 20, Exile on Mainstream, exclusive white vinyl, $21.99. Shane Devers, first on Alan Jackson. And Rainbow Concert. We do have a bid for $25 with Roger Ramjet. That's now a final call. And Terrell Boat Night, let me know if you want backing on ET, because Paul Brothers has that for $28. We pulled the Acid Mother's Temple. We pulled Alan Jackson. Jeff McMaster says he wants to pause if he autographs it. Sure thing. I'll let him know. We'll set it aside. I'm sure he'd be glad to do that. Let's see here. Trying to figure out information on it. It's in some psychedelic writing, though. It says Nashville, so probably for sure. Some other people tell me they're on records, and then I look for their name, and they're like, well, I'm not going to use my real name. I've got a stage name. It's there's 2 other records like that I've had before. People were in like bands, and they're like, I'm not using my real name. I'm like, oh, we'll set that aside and make sure that's what that is, and we'll before we sell that, I'll have to ask Paul about that. Alan Francis Drennan, you were second on Alan Jackson. John Leal gets Matchbox 20. Final call on ET out now because Terrell's out, $28. And Eric Clapton's Rainbow Concert. Eric Clapton's Rainbow Concert, final call for $25. I think a lot of metal bands do that. There's some people, I've looked at their metal records, and they're like, well, I'm not going to use my real name. I have my stage name, a cool metal like Viking Lord name, you know, like it's like something completely different. Poco Legend. This is the one that's got several hits on it. $9.99. Poco Legend. Also, this is the other, I'm not sure how to say that. Maybe an ML too. Looks like ML, AML, but that's the artist. Free Funk and Psych. $12.99. $12.99. Blue Oyster Cult is $29.99. This is The Symbol Remains. I think that's one of their newest albums. Blue Oyster Cult, The Symbol Remains, $29.99. And Madness doing their hit song, Our House, $14.99. Madness, Our House, $14.99. And Hank Williams Jr., Rich White Honky Blues, and that is on, should be colored vinyl, may not be. No, this one's on black vinyl. That is $21.99. Jeff McMaster says he'll take the one that was the Free Funk. We have Craig Thomas on Madness. We have Shane Devers on Hank Williams Jr. and Rob Scheffler on Blue Oyster Cult. And it was not on colored vinyl. That is sold to Rob Scheffler. Okay, let's do these auctions as well. Paul Brothers gets E.T. for $28, and Eric Clapton, just one bid, $25 to Roger Ramjet. So those are 28 Paul Brothers and 25 to Roger Ramjet. Before I finish this crate, let me go ahead and put up some new stuff. And let's see what we have here. Foreigner and Phil Collins. Looks like Agent Provocator, also known as Agent Provocateur, and Phil Collins, No Jacket Required. These are going to be a $35 start. Agent Provocateur, Japanese pressing of that. Seeing what was going on here with the cover. It looks like it's dusty, but this must be some signs of just like very glossy cover. But if it hit it just right, you can see these little spots of wear on it. Just FYI, the vinyl is near mint and pristine. That is Foreigner, Agent Provocateur. There's the Japanese insert with the listings or track listing and lyrics. Where is it at? I Want to Know What Love Is. I was about to say, I know there was one major hit for sure on this album. Agent Provocateur, Japanese pressing with Obi. That's a $35 start. And just here lately, just haven't seen many copies of that come through, especially in the USOG stuff. And Phil Collins, No Jacket Required. Phil Collins is a $35 start. It is near mint and pristine. $35 start. Has the Japanese insert with it. It's in shrink wrap with Obi. That's a $35 start. Phil Collins and Foreigner, both available. Roberta Flack, Killing Me Softly. Roberta Flack is $19.99. Also, Rolls Royce 3 strikes again. Rolls Royce strikes again. $9.99. Acid Mother's Temple and the Melting Paraiso UFO. I hope I'm saying that right. That is $24.99. $24.99 for the Acid Mothers. Hank Williams Jr., that's an early one. The Last Love Song. Hank Williams Jr. is $16.99. And Men in Black. Will Smith introducing Try Knox, Black Suits Coming, Nod Your Head. $11.99. 12-inch single from Men in Black 2. Shane Devers on Hank Williams Jr. That's so to Shane Devers. Looking for $35 starts on these. Now, this is, I'm not going to go through all these one more time. I may just hit some highlights. Sherry Martell wants Men in Black because there's some very odd stuff in here. I don't know if some of them I can even figure out the names on them again if I do it quickly. But we will take a look. Craig Thomas on RF, which was Roberta Flack. That's so to Craig Johnson. And we'll see what's left in here, though. I was about to say, it was an interesting crate, but half of it's gone. There was some pretty interesting stuff in here, though, for sure. The Sons of Chaplin, A Circle Filled with Love. Also, America Hearts with the promo sticker on it. That was $19.99. Switch, Am I Still Your Boyfriend? The Illusion, $14.99. I've listened to that record a couple times before. Pretty good. How High the Moon, the JATP All-Stars, $9.99. That's a jazz record. Pyramid, and we have Tape Deck Mountain. This was the Brian Jonestown Massacre, Take It From the Man. Recommended by Paul. It's on red and blue vinyl, $49.99. Another Acid Mothers, Keith Emerson soundtrack. Little Gold, The Striped Bananas, Connie Archer, Hank Williams Jr. Live, that's still available. Very nice copy too, $19.99. Axes, this was the one earlier that was Me or ML Amel maybe. Hadn't figured that one out yet. Veronica Banquois, Tracy Shedd, It's a Beautiful Day. This was Living in the Jungle by Banshee. Living in the Jungle by Banshee. Mouth Reader, Kill Your Idols, heard of them before, punk band, hardcore. Poco, Rose Royce, and another Acid Mothers Temple. Those are all still available. I'm going to go right into our next crate of new vintage arrivals. If anybody decides you want anything in here or wants to see those again, let me know. Also, that now means a final call on these auctions. A final call to bid before I make them a buy it now. A final call to bid before I make it a buy it now. And we're going to go right into this next batch that Paul has ready for us. Crate of new vintage arrivals. Brian May was $36.99. So final call if you want to bid on these for $35. And if not, they'll be a buy it now. We'll put up our next two auctions. The Clovers. The Clovers is a 57 mono. Wow, 57 mono, $17.99. The Clovers. That's on the black Atlantic label. Early. 57 mono, $17.99. No condition notes either. Brian Auger's A Believing Express, Happiness Heartaches, VG Plus, $12.99. Tommy James and the Shondells, Hanky Panky, VG Plus, $14.99. The First Man in Space, Jose Jimenez, The Astronaut, EX Condition, $12.99. Always an interesting cover there. EX, $12.99. The Notorious Bird Brothers, VG minus, $14.99. It is on the original label, VG minus, $14.99. The Best of Buffalo Springfield is a VG copy, $14.99. The bottom seam is split. Cal Jader and Charlie Bird is VG plus, $16.99. Jader and Bird. Wes Montgomery's Greatest Hits. Wes Montgomery's a VG plus, $16.99. Wild Cherry, Love My Music. We had some Wild Cherry last night. That's a very, might as well call that tonight's nightly nudity. VG plus, $14.99. Wild Cherry, I Love My Music. Roxy Music is a VG minus, $12.99. Genesis in the Beginning. This is a Genesis compilation. It's in shrink wrap, VG plus condition, $17.99. Genesis in the Beginning. Jefferson Starship, Red Octopus, VG plus, $11.99. All right, I'm going to make these a buy it now if anybody wants them. That was Phil Collins, No Jacket Required. Phil Collins, No Jacket Required. This is a $35 buy it now if anybody wants that. I've also got Foreigner, Agent Provocateur, also for a $35 buy it now. And guess what? Mark Querum also gets this Foreigner for $30. He got the Foreigner Greatest Hits earlier. He's also going to get Agent Provocateur for $35. No Jacket Required is available. I'm putting Phil over here. Phil Collins is over here of Jim Croce if anybody wants those. Next record was EX999. This is the Rotary Connection, Aladdin. And I think this was a flip over cover that had a perforation on it, and that is missing. EX condition on the vinyl, $9.99. Next Japanese auctions are going to be Miles Davis and Nina. $35 starts, Miles Davis and Nina. Miles, first let's talk about Nina. Nina's in shrink wrap. 99 Luff Balloons, also known as 99 Red Balloons. $35 start. That's a Japanese pressing of Nina. Has a 2-page flip with it, and the cover is in shrink wrap with Obi. That's a $35 start for Nina. Haven't had one of those in a little bit. It seems like they come in, Nina comes in waves sometimes. We'll have several, and then I won't see them for months. $35 start on Nina. And then the Miles Davis is, Miles Davis, this is 1965, 12/23. So December 23rd, 1965. This is at the Plugged Nickel in Chicago. It is a live Miles Davis concert from 1965 at the Plugged Nickel in Chicago. Beautiful Japanese vinyl for a $35 start. There is a Miles Davis insert discography, covers in shrink wrap with hype sticker, and Obi. $35 start on those, Nina and Miles Davis. Condition on Genesis. Condition on Genesis. Genesis in the beginning, VG Plus on the vinyl. The covers in shrink wrap, $17.99. Eddie Manning, the Wild Cherry album was called I Love My Music. I Love My Music. Jam Together, Steve Cropper, Albert King, and Pop Staples. VG, $19.99. That is a 69 Terre Haute. Steve Cropper, session guitars with Booker T. You have Albert King and Pop Staples. VG, $19.99. Tommy Boyce and Bobby Hart, Test Patterns. VG plus $9.99. There is some cover damage along the bottom. VG plus $9.99 on Tommy Boyce and Bobby Hart. Verve disc jockey copy. This looks like a Verve compilation of different artists and music. EX $17.99. I see Count Basie and Joe Williams and Fred Astaire, Teddy Wilson, Artie Shaw, Verve sampler. That was on side 1. EX $17.99. Looks like a radio station disc jockey sampler of Verve artist. Mr. Rock and Soul, Roy Hamilton, has a Columbia Special Collector Series sticker on the back. Roy Hamilton is EX $14.99. And Devil Woman, Marty Robbins, VG Plus $14.99. Devil Woman, Marty Robbins. That's a VG Plus $14.99. Final call on Nina and Miles Davis. If anybody wants those for a $35 buy it now. If not, I'll make them, or a $35 bid, and then there'll be a buy it now. So final call on those. Little Feat, Time Loves a Hero. VG copy $14.99. The Poppers, Ellis Island, EX $17.99. That has a lyric insert with it. The Poppers, Ellis Island. And Iron Butterfly Heavy, VG plus $14.99. Iron Butterfly Heavy, VG plus $14.99. Another Iron Butterfly. We sold a copy of Ball last night, and of course, we always sell Inagata DeVita when those get gone. This looks interesting. VG plus $16.99. 1986 Alabama punk record. 1986 Alabama punk record, and it's called The Fold, D.D. Rangid, maybe. And that's sold to Mike Massey. We have Bang, Mother, Mother Humble, Keep On, Idealist, Realist, EX $39.99. A very solid hard rock record. This is called Bang, Mother, $39.99. Joe Maynard, Miles Davis is a Japanese pressing of At the Plug Nickel, 1965, Plug Nickel, Chicago. Near Mint, Shrink Wrap, Hype Sticker Obi, also includes the insert, and we're looking for a $35 star. Since you asked about that, I'll give that a second, and I'm going to go ahead and make Nina a $35 buy it now. Nina, Japanese pressing, is a $35 buy it now. Stevie Lee wants Bang. That's sold to Stevie Lee. We also have Eagles Greatest Hits, EX Condition, $21.99. Eagles Greatest Hits, EX Condition, $21.99. And Jackson Browne for Everyman. Don't see this one as often in his discography. It has this die cut like window type thing, and it has a little bit of edge wear right here because the jacket had to be pulled in and out, and it always dinged up against the edges. But that's EX $16.99. Joe is in on Miles Davis at $35. George Ellis wants the Eagles Greatest Hits. And Nina is in shrink wrap, really nice copy. It's a $35 buy it now. $35 buy it now on the Eagles Greatest Hits. Or excuse me, on Nina 99 Luft Balloons. And that is sold to Romelu. I was waiting for somebody to claim that. So that's sold. I'll put up 2 new ones as soon as we wrap up Miles Davis in here in just a second. But we do have a new bid. Darren Meyer was at 36. We have Ella Fitzgerald. I don't know if I've seen this one before. VG $14.99. Ella Fitzgerald is called Like Someone in Love. Very cool colors on that one. VG $14.99 for Ella Fitzgerald. Miles Davis is now at 38. A flat, G flat, and C. Yusef Lateef. VG minus $24.99. Paul says that's a visual grade. It plays much better than it looks. It's a 67 stereo. $24.99. Michael Nath on Ella Fitzgerald. Romelu, you were second. And Eric Clapton Slowhand is a VG for $11.99. Miles Davis is now at 40, now 42. I bet Darren Meyer was waiting to do a buy it now. And now we have a bid on it, and now they're bidding. So let's do the Beatles 67 to 70. I do have other copies of the red album, but for some reason the blue always outsells the red. I think people prefer the later Beatles tracks, it seems like, on these compilations. I bet you're right, Chad. Darren says that's exactly what was about to happen. I was waiting for the bot now. Now I'm bidding on it. The Beatles 67 to 70 looks very nice. It is near mint minus and pristine. All those great Beatles tracks from 67 to 70. This includes the Beatles lyric book and discography book, but it's kind of tucked in here with the other one. Hold on a second. It seemed like, yeah, there it is. So 67 to 70, it has the lyric book and the discography book, and it has the gatefold, very nice, with Obi. The cover just has a little bit of wear in some of the notable parts of the cover, or a few notable parts of the cover, and right here on the edge. That's going to be just a $45 start. The Beatles 67 to 70, $45 start on that. Make sure I didn't miss anything before. We've got Ella. David, everything in here is sticker price. Miles Davis 41, and we was already at 42. Joe Maynard's at 42 on Miles Davis. Verve, this stocky copy. Verve is VG Plus $14.99. Buffalo Springfield with hop sticker for what it's worth. VG minus on the vinyl, $11.99. This is a pretty solid cover, though. Very solid cover, actually. For the vinyl to be VG minus, and it has the hop sticker. No chipping on the spine, the top. This, if you buy this, it has a little bit of a stain right there. But that is a very nice as that. Paul is dead. 67, Scotty said, was after Paul died. Yeah, this was put out after Paul McCartney passed away. Buffalo Springfield is $11.99. Cabbage Patch Kids. 10 original Cabbage Patch songs. That's also a collection essential. EX $11.99. John Young wants Buffalo Springfield. I'm sure he's going to swap out some disc and get a top copy with that one, because that's a nice cover. Miles Davis is at 42. Darren Meyer, let me know if you're in or out. Actually, he already said out. So David says he'll take Yusef Lateef. David gets Yusef Lateef. Miles Davis is out, and that's a final call, $42. Francis Drennan gets the Cabbage Patch Kids. And before all that, John Young got Buffalo Springfield. JoJo Gunn is VG Plus, $12.99 for JoJo Gunn. Bob Marley, Rastamon Vibration, excuse me. This is in good plus condition, $9.99. Psychedelic Lollipop, Blues Magoos, VG minus, $11.99. That's in mono. We have a test pressing from somebody. Beat Farmers, test pressing of Tales of the New West, EX $29.99. The Beat Farmers, that's a test pressing, Tales of the New West, EX $29. Darren, if you want it, I'll give it to you for a $2 bid. I think you want it more than I do. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to say Miles Davis is sold to Joe Maynard for 42, unless Darren Meyer wants it for 42. Darren Meyer, if you want this for 42, Joe Maynard says he'll take it. And Darren says he'll take it. So sell this to Darren Meyer for $42. That's sold. No bid yet on the Beatles. Looking for a $45 start. Walt Cruz says he'll take the Beat Farmers. Those are both sold. Grand Funk Survival is a VG Plus $16.99. Mark Lent has bid on Miles Davis. Mark, I didn't know you were, I thought it was just down between those two. That's why I went ahead and called it sold. Sorry about that. Well, I guess I didn't really do a final call on it, but I have already called it sold. My bad. I thought they were just down between those two. The Beatles is now at 45 with Bill Toe. That's at 45 with Bill Toe. And we have the Brothers Johnson, Get the Funk Out My Face, disco version. Look for their album, look out for number 1. Promotion copy, not for sale. White label promo, 12-inch single. VG Plus $17.99. Has a rubber stamp on the back that says Bump, B-U-M-P of Greater Atlanta. That is sold to Jeff McMaster. So Miles Davis is sold. Sorry about that, Mark. I may have called that one a little bit too fast. But if anything, if you think you're interested in something, you can always at least like tie somebody else's bid. That way I at least see your name. That's another strategy. Some people wait to bid like maybe after several people's out and it's down to one person, then somebody else starts bidding. It always helps me, especially if I'm selling these awfully fast, if you can bid prior. at least tie a bid, and that way I know you're interested, and I'll wait for you to say out before I sell it. Because sometimes if I think it's down to between two people, I'll just go ahead and sell it. And that is Darren Myers. Pete Mitchell's at 47 on the Beatles. Al Green, Let's Stay Together. Tommy wrote his name on Al's forehead and over here. That's a VG, $16.99. These are getting quite pricier in a high grade. It always has been a desirable record, but that's a VG copy for $16.99. Ella Fitzgerald sings the Cole Porter Songbook. That's a VG minus. It's a 1956 mono, $11.99. And Everything You Always Wanted to Hear by the OJs, but were afraid to ask. That's a promo-only release. First track is Backstabbers, VG minus $9.99. All right, let's put the Michael Schenker Group up for auction. This is going to be a $35 start. Michael Schenker Group Assault Attack. $35 start on Michael Schenker Group Assault Attack. Near mint minus and pristine Japanese vinyl. Also has the Japanese insert. And we have a cover with the Obi. This is a $35 start on that. So Pete Mitchell bid 47 on the Beatles comp, 67 to 70. Bill Toe, you're out. Let me know if you want back in, because Pete has that for 47. Thomas Hujar gets Ella Fitzgerald, and Colin Butler wants the OJs. Let me read through those one more time. So we're at 47 on the Beatles, going once, going twice. And we have Michael Schenker Group is a $35 start. $35 start on Michael Schenker Group. The Clovers was a 57 mono, $17.99. Bill's back in on the Beatles at 48. Brian Auger's Oblivion Express, that was VG plus $12.99. Tommy James and the Shondells, VG plus $14.99. First Man in Space, The Astronaut, Jose Jimenez, EX $12.99. The Notorious Bird Brothers is VG minus $14.99. Retrospect, The Best of Buffalo Springfield, VG $14.99. Cal Jader and Charlie Bird is VG plus $16.99. Wes Montgomery's Greatest Hits, VG plus $16.99. Wes Montgomery's Greatest Hits. Roxy Music is VG minus $12.99. Jefferson Starship Red Octopus is VG plus $11.99. The Rotary Connection was EX $9.99. Genesis in the Beginning was VG plus $17.99. And Wild Cherry, I Love My Music, VG plus $14.99. Bill's back in on the Beatles at 48. Pete Mitchell has bid again at 49. Patty wants to see the Michael Schenker Group again. This is called Assault Attack. Michael Schenker Group Assault Attack. Looking for a $35 start. Carol, I will send you a message tonight about that. Tanner says he's already sent you a message. He sent you a message earlier. Carol, check your inbox. You should have got a message or messages from us. Check your Facebook inbox, Carol, your Facebook Messenger. All right, next claim was Colin Butler on the Rotary Connection. Bill Toe says he's out on the Beatles. Michael Schenker Group's at 35. Jam Together, Steve Cropper, Albert King, and Pop Staples, VG $19.99. Tommy Boyce and Bobby Hart, that's VG plus $9.99. Another Verve disc jockey compilation, EX $17.99. And Roy Hamilton, Mr. Rock and Soul, EX $14.99. We do have a bid on Michael Schenker Group at 35, final call. And the Beatles is now a final call at 49, especially since Bill's out. Never mind on Michael Schenker Group. Thomas is in at 37. Devil Woman, Marty Robbins, VG plus $14.99. Little Feat, Time Loves a Hero. That's a VG copy, $14.99. The Poppers, Ellis Island, EX $17.99. We have, where was we at? Mark Lent, Jam. Jam Together is VG $19.99. Iron Butterfly Heavy, VG plus $14.99. Jackson Brown for Every Man. First track is Take It Easy. Also his song These Days, EX $16.99. Eric Clapton Slow Hand is VG minus $11.99. Colin Butler wants Iron Butterfly. We have another Verve compilation, disc jockey record, a VG plus $14.99. Let's go ahead and sell the Beatles 67 to 70 to Pete Mitchell for $49. That is sold to Pete Mitchell. Sherry Darnell wants These Days, For Every Man by Jackson Brown. JoJo Gunn is VG plus $12.99. Patty's back in on Michael Schenker Group at 38. Patty's back in on Michael Schenker Group at 38. Bob Marley was Good Plus, $9.99. Thomas is in on Michael Schenker Group at 40. Check out this Japanese pressing. Goat Head Soup. Nice. The Rolling Stones Goat Head Soup. The vinyl is near mint minus and pristine. Super nice copy on the LP there. The Rolling Stones Goat Head Soup. Check this out. That was, I think, what was intended to be the original artwork for this album. It's literally some goat head soup. That's just a flat. That's just an insert like flat that came with that, the Japanese version. There's the 2-page Japanese flip with information. Here's the original inner sleeve. There's the original inner sleeve. And very nice cover. No foxing or discoloration. $55 start. Has the Rolling Stones OB on it. I see one little spot right up there above the tongue logo. Goat Head Soup, Japanese pressing. $55 start on that. Very cool. Looks like it's complete and a very nice copy. $55 start on that. So Thomas bid 40 on Michael Schenker Group. Next comment is Michael Nath wants the Verve compilation that was $14.99. Sell that to Michael Nath. We have Michael Schenker Group 41, 43, 45, and 47. Mary Poppins sale. The only reason I can say that for certain, because I think it's in the front of one of these crates. I walked by it the other day. Or maybe it was this Wizard of Oz. I don't know. I think it is still available because I thought I saw it in the front of a crate, but I don't see it now. You know how we have all these crates stacked up and you can see the records that's in the front. We still got the Wizard of Oz soundtrack. I can't believe no one bought. Usually these get gone right away. The Wizard of Oz soundtrack, VG Plus, $19.99. We've been through so many vintage LPs lately with so many incredible records. That's why here in a minute we're going to roll the cart to the back and we're going to go through some bins. It's hard for me to really bring them up here. There's so many, thousands and thousands of records that are all bought now, best offer, that we're probably going to go through tonight in the back. So just FYI. Michael Schenker Group, we was at 45, 47. EX, not the VG Plus one. Okay, so not this one with the, that one had a spine split too. You want this one that is EX $17.99. Got it. Sell that to Michael Nath. Michael Schenker Group 50, Rolling Stones 55, and Donnie Moore says he'll take the Wizard of Oz. The Eric Clapton, Johnny Silva, that was a VG minus. It is VG minus. It's $11.99. Donnie Moore said he'd take that Wizard of Oz. I was about to say, like, I don't think I've ever put out any record with the words Wizard of Oz on it and it has not sold immediately. That's sold to Donnie Moore. We got 2 bids on Goat Head Soup. Paul was in first at 55. Chris DiLorenzo was second. Psychedelic Lollipop Blues Magoos, VG minus $11.99. And Grand Funk Survival, VG plus $16.99. Al Green, Let's Stay Together. That's a VG copy, $16.99. Scott Drum, I will keep a mental note that you want the Mary Poppins. We might even run across it tonight. But I remember that record, but I haven't seen it. So there was some great titles still left in here. I think what I'm going to do is remind everybody what's going on in the auctions. We had 3 crates of newly priced stuff. We have already flew through those in just about an hour and 15 minutes. For me to constantly show new stuff, we got to have like 8 or 11 new crates every night. And usually we have about 5 or 6. We had 3 tonight and pretty much no new vinyl. Just like 7 new records. So we're probably going to go through a lot of Buy Now Best Offer tonight, but we're going to go to the back, something we normally don't do, and go through some bins. And it's physically going to mean we have to roll the cart. But probably what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do that live. We're probably going to show some more records up here. We're going to take a break, and then we'll start part 2 very early. It'll be a very early part 2 start, like 9:30 or something, and we'll start part 2 from the back. So that's what's going on. We're still going to be up here for a while going through stuff. Update on Michael Schenker Group. Thomas is out. Patty has that for $50, and that's a final call. And we have a new bid on Goat Head Soup for $58. John Leal, $58 is the high bidder on that. No shrink wrap REM records. Sorry, Mark. You got to buy them when you see them. You say out too often. I've told you this before. You'll start bidding and then you'll say out. You can't say out if you want to win an REM and shrink wrap and hop stickers. You've got to keep bidding and keep bidding and keep bidding, and then finally you'll wear somebody out after 3 hours. You'll finally wear somebody out. Now the high bid may be $2,800, but you'll at least say that you got it. Wow, I'm looking through a crate here from the other night, and it's got all kinds of incredible stuff with it. Let's go ahead and go through this crate, and I'll make it buy it now best offer. I mean, I just hate to see great records like this just sitting around. You may not need them. You may not want them, but I have a feeling just from what I glanced at, there were some fantastic records in here. Goathead Soup is now at 59, and 2 other people have bid 60. So we're still bidding on that. I'm about to sell Michael Schenker Group because I have multiple copies. Wade, everything in that last crate was sticker price. Probably either later tonight or when I go back through that crate a second time, sometime, I'll make them buy it now best offer. For those itching to make an offer on something, we can do it here on this crate. I'm ready to sell some records out of here. So, Van Morrison, Astra Weeks. It's a Canadian import from 1979, $26.99. I think I went through this crate already, probably within the last few days or maybe week, but if there's anything you want to make an offer on, go right ahead. Neil Young, Hawks and Doves, $24.99. Neil Young, Hawks and Doves. We had a Van Morrison. The Spiral T. Agnew, $12.99, which is a comedy record. Earl Dowd presents. And we have Willie Nelson, The Sound in Your Mind. No condition notes on that. $19.99. Paul Simon's Greatest Hits. A beautiful copy. Gatefold, original inner sleeve, near mint. $19.99. And Waylon, I've Always Been Crazy. Waylon Jennings, $24.99. So these are all bought now best offer. Let's go ahead and sell Michael Schenker Group for $50 to Patty Anderson Williams. The high bid on the Rolling Stones Goathead Soup now is $65 with Paul Brothers. I'm going to go ahead and grab our next Japanese auction, which is going to be Carole King, Rhymes and Reasons. Carole King, Rhymes and Reasons. This is a $25 start on Carole King, Rhymes and Reasons. The vinyl is near mint minus and pristine. Very nice copy of Carole King. It has a Japanese insert with it. It has another Japanese insert with it. And it has the original inner sleeve. Carole King gatefold. This kind of has like a double obi type thing. I think whatever this obi is, it coordinates to this insert, which says, what is this? Some kind of Japan Airlines A&M Singer-Songwriter Series release schedule. Yeah, whatever this OB is, it coordinates to this insert on that. So $25 start on that. High bid on the Rolling Stones is $65 with Paul Brothers. Chris DiLorenzo's out, so that's between Mark Lent. That's between Mark Lent and Paul Brothers. We have an offer on Waylon Jennings for $20. Sell that to Shane Devers. And Kelly Bagwell, I will do $15 on Willie Nelson. $15 on Willie Nelson. The Hollies, a crazy steal. The Hollies is in shrink wrap, $19.99. Wes Bruce and Lang, Why Don't Ya? $24.99 on Wes Bruce and Lang. Bobby Whitlock, Rock Your Socks Off. $12.99 on Bobby Whitlock. Steve Gibb, Let My Song. Steve Gibb is $9.99. The Skyliners, Once Upon a Time, $9.99. Ken Booth, Live Good, $22.99. That's a reggae record. Kelly said she'll take Willie for $15. We have David Bowie's Space Oddity. It's a picture disc sealed with a David Bowie poster, $39.99. These are all bought now best offer. What's the opener on Carole King? First track on Carole King is Come Down Easy. Come Down Easy is the first track. Jack Suslike is in at 25 on that. We have Music to Be Murdered By, Eminem. These are all these sealed records are bought now best offer too. Music to Be Murdered By is $36.99. That is sealed. Brad, I will sell you David Bowie for $30 if you want it. $30. You offer $25, I'll do it for $30. Billie Holiday still available. One of her classic albums, Lady in Satin. It's an '87 remaster in shrink wrap, $24.99. Troy offered $30 for Eminem. That's sold to Troy Robinson for $30. David Johnson's in on Carole King at $26, and Brad Bolin says he'll take the David Bowie for $30. We have Getting to Know Us by Whiplash, and that's a private press prog group from California, 1980, $79.99. The other two bidders are out on Goathead Soup. That means, Paul, you have that for $65, final call, and we've got 3 bidders now on Carole King. Rami Lou's at $27. Thin Lizzy. This does have some cover damage. See if somebody wants to make an offer on it. We had it marked $29.99 just because, one, it's a great album. Thin Lizzy Fighting is a great album. This is one of my next favorites, of course, next to Jailbreak. Very good album. One of the first songs on here, Rosalie, which is a Bob Seger song. We was listening to King's Vengeance last night. It came on the shuffle. Suicide, Fighting My Way Back. This is a great album. And yes, I think a cat or a dog has probably clawed that up. There's a lot of times records are like this on a shelf and cats claw them. I've seen it happen for years when I've went and bought collections. That does have a screwed up cover, but the vinyl is near mint minus. Great Thin Lizzy album, Fighting, if you don't have that one already. Carole King 27, the Ken Booth condition, Mark Lent. I don't think there was any condition notes on it. Anthology of Reggae Collector Series Volume 2. That's on United Artists. Yes, that is near mint minus. That's stickered for $22.99. Eminem has sold Skyliner's price, and is it an original? Yes, it's an original, and it is $9.99, Ken Booth. $9.99. Carole King 28 and 29. Head, Hands, and Feet tracks. $16.99 for Head, Hands, and Feet. $16.99. Led Zeppelin. I was about to say, what has this been doing left over? $39.99. It does have the original inner sleeve that has not been dampened. $39.99 for In Through the Outdoor. Let's go ahead and sell Goat Head Soup to Paul Brothers for $65. Carole King's now at $30 with Jack Suslack. And David Bowie is sealed. That's a remaster, Ziggy Stardust, $29.99. $29.99. I think we have that same version over here in our bins from new vinyl distributors for even more. Next Japanese auction is Steve Miller Band, Abracadabra. This is a near mint minus and pristine. Near mint minus and pristine. Japanese pressing, $35 start. $35 start on Steve Miller Band, Abracadabra. There's the Japanese insert, Steve Miller Band, Abracadabra. There is the cover with Obi, $35 start on that. $35 start on that. Back up to the top, we have Carole King, 28, 29, and 30. And Rami Lou's at 31 on Carole King. Rami Lou is at 31 on Carole King. I was, for some reason, looking for that in the crate. How much was Thin Lizzy? Kelly, that was $29.99. $29.99. Ray said he'd give 7 for the Skyliners. Ray Toth, that's so few for 7. Toby Grimm said SS25. SS25 what was SS? And that was not Ziggy Stardust, not David Bowie. What was SS25, Toby Grimm? He said Ziggy. Okay, SS25. Toby was first to that. Go ahead and sell to him that for $25. Greg, the Zeppelin was cover variant A. Sleeve variant A. It has a dry original inner sleeve. Dry original inner sleeve. Next comment was George Ellis on the reggae record. We'll make sure that Mark Lent doesn't want that. If Mark Lent doesn't want that, that means the Ken Booth reggae record is sold to George Ellis. Kelly said, never mind. Zeppelin 30, Ziggy, and out and pass. Okay, so Greg passed. Paul, I will split that difference with you and sell you Zeppelin for $35 if you're okay with that. $35 on the Led Zeppelin record. John Wesley Harding by Bob Dylan. This is in shrink wrap, $34.99. We've got it ultrasonically cleaned in an anti-static inner sleeve, and that is a 68 Pittman press, $34.99. Mark Lent says he passes on Booth, so that does go to George Ellis. This is the sealed ET soundtrack from... This is the sealed ET soundtrack box set, which is the story that was narrated by Michael Jackson. It includes the poster. That is sealed and unopened. It is $49.99. Now, it does have some tears in it. There's some tears in the shrink. It needs to be probably just wrapped up if you want to keep it sealed, or if you want to remove all that, you'll have a mint new box set. Just make sure you keep that hype sticker because that's pretty cool on there. But that is sealed, $49.99. Paul says he'll take it. The other person claimed passed. I don't think that was the cover variant they were looking for. So that's sold to Paul Brothers for $35. Led Zeppelin is $35. Carole King. High bid on Carole King is Rami Lou at $31. I think Jack's out, and if David Johnson says out, we'll go ahead and sell that for $31. No bid yet on Steve Miller Band Abracadabra. Looking for a $35 start. Yes, the Clovers is still available. Free Your Mind, Funkadelic. Free Your Mind is a 50th anniversary on blue vinyl. Funkadelic is sealed, $29.99. Free Your Mind and your blank will follow, $29.99. Pictures of Matchstick Men, Messages from the Status Quo. Status Quo is a music on vinyl pressing. It's a remaster, $24.99. $24.99. Craig Thomas wants Funkadelic. That's sold to Craig Thomas. Childish Gambino, Awaken My Love, sealed for $28.99. $28.99 for Childish Gambino. 10cc, Deceptive Bends, $14.99. Always a good seller, $14.99. Claymore says he'll take the clovers from the previous bin. While I'm over there, I'm going to grab a new Japanese pressing, so let me go ahead and end these. That means Romelu gets Carole King for $31. And if anybody wants Steve Miller Band, it's a $35 buy it now. It's a mint copy of Abracadabra. Claymore says he'll take the clovers from the previous bin. It is right here. Waiting for somebody maybe to jump on that one. This is sold to Claymore. 57 mono. 1957 mono. That is sold to Claymore. John Leal first on the Steve Miller Band. Before I put up any two new auctions, let me remind you of these two fantastic Japanese pressings that are still available as buy it now. These were no bids. Jim Croce Custom 20, which is a greatest hits. I believe it's 20 tracks too. And Phil Collins, no jacket required. That's in shrink wrap. Those are $35 buy it nows. Thomas, you were second on Steve Miller Band. And earlier, Jeff McMaster, you were second making an offer on Funkadelic. Craig was first to claim that at stickers. So let me grab a couple new Japanese pressings. We got a couple more $25 starts, which is Kenny Rogers and Steve Winwood. Kenny Rogers' greatest hits and Steve Winwood back in the high life. $25 starts on these. $25 starts on these. Thomas Hujar is first on the Phil Collins, $35. Romelu, you offered $30, but Darren Meyer says he'll take it for $35. So Romelu, let me know if you want this for $35. If you don't, then it's sold to Darren Meyer for $35. But Thomas gets Phil Collins for $35. We'll see if Romelu wants it for $35. $25 starts on those. We have 10-10 Walk On, $14.99. If you're just joining us, this is why I went back through this crate. I flipped through it earlier and I was like, whoa, there's some great records in here. Let's do buy it now, best offer. I'll know there'll be some takers on some of these. Romelu says pass, so give Jim Croce, Darren Meyer for $35. Tommy James and the Shondells Traveling, $19.99. This is a soundtrack to 5 Easy Pieces, which has songs by Tammy Wynette. Jack Nicholson was in the film, $14.99. Now, let me do my due diligence and show these in detail, which is the Kenny Rogers Greatest Hits Japanese pressing. Near mint minus and pristine. No condition notes on this one. Has a 2-page Japanese flip and a really nice cover of Obi. Kenny is a $25 start. $25 start on Kenny Rogers. And Steve Winwood back in the high life. Steve Winwood back in the high life. $25 start. This is near mint minus and pristine. Steve Winwood. It's got several great songs on it. There's the Japanese insert. First track is Higher Love. We all know that one. $25 start on Steve Winwood. Those are Japanese pressings. Very nice. Dave Clark 5, You Got What It Takes. This is in shrink wrap, and the vinyl is very nice. $9.99 on Dave Clark 5. The Sugar Shop. The Sugar Shop is in shrink wrap, $29.99. Another very clean Capitol record in shrink wrap. Brent Robley on Dave Clark 5. He said 8. So 8 on Dave Clark 5. Sell that to Brent. And David Bowie, The Man Who Sold the World, is $26.99. This is a remaster. David Bowie, boy, that's on Chad's Grail list. An original UK pressing of The Man Who Sold the World with this cover. Very difficult to find. That is sold to John Leal. That's a 2016 remaster. That's sold to John Leal. The Ventures, Flights of Fantasy, $9.99. I think nice, clean copies of The Man Who Sold the World with that cover are north of $800, I think. $25 start on Kenny Rogers and Steve Winwood, if you can find one in good condition. I'm talking mint. Douglas MacArthur, Duty, Honor, Courage, or Duty, Honor, Country. This is addresses to West Point and Washington, or West Point and Congress. That's a spoken word record, $19.99. Ray, we've already sold Dave Clark 5. Steve Kahn, The Blue Man. Steve Kahn is EX condition, $11.99. Guana Songs, I believe that's what that is. Yeah, Guana Songs, EX condition, $12.99. The Who, Who's Next, EX condition, $32.99. A classic rock album. That's an original press too on the Decca label. Won't Get Fooled Again, Bob O'Reilly, Bargain, all those great songs. Behind Blue Eyes, EX $32.99. EX $32.99. Randy Newman, Trouble in Paradise. That's also EX condition, $17.99. John Renbourn, The Lady and the Unicorn. EX $12.99 on John Renbourn. In the Name of Love, 88. That's the Thompson twins. Thompson twins, 12-inch single, VG Plus, $9.99. Joe's at 25 on Kenny Rogers. That's a final call. Jesse Winchester, A Touch on the Rainy Side. Jesse Winchester is EX, $12.99. Roger McGuinn, Thunderbird. Roger McGuinn is a white label promo, EX, $17.99. Darren says he'd get 15 for the Paul Simon's Greatest Hits. Sell that to Darren Wortman. Brad Bolin wants the Thompson twins. Joe offered 27 for The Who, and Mark Lynn offered 29. This is The Who's Greatest Hits. So, Joe, you've been outbid. Let me know if you want it for 29. That's a very nice copy at EX. If you don't, Joe, then it's sold to Mark Lynn for 29. But Joe has first dibs on that at $29. Our Man Flint, original motion picture score, VG Plus, $17.99. Uncle Meat, Frank Zappa, The Mothers of Invention. That's EX, $31.99. Paul has a note on the back that says awesome. Frank Zappa, Uncle Meat, just EX, $31.99. And Neil Young, Live Rust, VG Plus, $26.99. Frank Zappa, Chunga's Revenge, one of more of his popular albums. This is on the original label for $34.99. Original label for $34.99 on those. Okay. We have Kenny Rogers sold to Joe Maynard for $25. If anybody wants Steve Winwood, this is a no bid. $25 buy it now. Back in the high life. Bring me to a higher love. $25 buy it now on that. Let me go over here and pull two new ones out before I start recapping this crate very quickly. Let's do Don Henley and Oscar Peterson. $25 starts on these. Don Henley, I Can't Stand Still with Dirty Laundry. Overall, it's just a great album. And Emotions and Emotions by Oscar Peterson. I'm going to show those in detail in just a second, but those are $25 buy it nows. We have a $25 offer on Frank Zappa, Uncle Meat, and we have a Thomas Hujar wants Steve Winwood, or Stevie. Let's go ahead and sell that for $25 to Brian C. And for $25, we'll sell Steve Winwood to Thomas Hujar. Still got Chunga's Revenge. Darren Meyer, Neil Young was VG Plus at just $26.99. Great live album. There is Turn, Turn, Turn on the Roger McGuinn album. Well, I know he did that song with the Byrds, but it's not on this album. No, it's not. EX, $17.99. Roger McGuinn, Thunderbird. Has a gold stamp promo, $17.99. So let's show these again. Don Henley, a member of the Eagles. I Can't Stand Still. Great album, too. Of course, we all have probably heard Dirty Laundry. I think there's one other, maybe a radio station mainstream hit on that one. But that for sure is overall a great album. This is a $25 start. Mr. Eddie Bruce is already in, and this is a nice copy. Near mint minus and pristine on that. And then Oscar Peterson here. Mr. Oscar is Motions and Emotions. It's a Japanese pressing for a $25 start. And it is, looks like unplayed, near mint minus Japanese. No insert with this one. It may have not came with one, but it's a perfect cover with Obi, $25 start. We got a $23 offer on Neil Young. Let's sell that to Darren Meyer. And I'm just going to recap this bin one more time. If you're just joining us, you came in on a great time because we have a bin of fantastic records that are all buy it now, best offer. Buy it now, best offer. Let's go through these one more time. And we got two auctions up. I don't have any random stuff to show tonight. I sorted all of our Funkos last night. If you missed what I was saying when we first came live, I sorted all of our Funkos and I put in a huge order. I'm talking like hundreds and hundreds of them, but most of them were back ordered. So we should have some of those later this week. I also did one of the biggest new vinyl orders I've done in a while. Puzzles, supplies. I ordered stuff for like 8 hours. We were low on a lot of things. Late last night, I put our last Kiss record on sale. You know, we sold out of Dress to Kill. We still have copies of Destroyer. But I'm going to show these two Kiss records one more time that are on sale. These are $10 off for the remastered Kiss Alive. Just $39.99. It's a 2012 remaster. They're sealed. They're exact replications of the OGs and the remastered high-quality vinyl. $39.99 on Kiss Alive. They'll sound great, too. Thomas is in on Oscar Peterson at $25, and Don Henley is at $25. Those are final calls. Scott Corcoran says he'll take a Kiss. $39.99 on these. $39.99. Here's what's left in this crate. Just a quick read through. If you need prices or if you want to go ahead and make an offer, let me know. They're all bought now, best offer. Van Morrison, Astral Weeks. Neil Young, Hawks and Doves. This is Earl Dowd presents Spiral T. Agnew is a Riot. The Hollies, A Crazy Steal. Wes Bruce and Lang. Bobby Whitlock, Rock Your Socks Off. Steve Gibb, Let My Song. Lady in Satin, Billie Holiday is still available. This was that rare prog record, Getting to Know Us. Whiplash. Heads, Hand, and Feet. Thin Lizzy, Fighting. Bob Dylan was in Shrink Wrap. John Wesley Harding. E.T. Charlie DeFrank said 10 on Whitlock. Sell that to Charlie DeFrank for $10. Status Quo, Pictures of Matchstick Men. Childish Gambino. 10cc, 1010. So we had 10cc and we have 1010. Tommy James and the Shondells. 5 Easy Pieces soundtrack. The Sugar Shop. The Ventures, Flights of Fantasy. This is an interesting record. The Ventures, it's Ventures music, but check out some of these tracks. Featuring Mighty Quinn and Summertime Blues, and a really cool cover too. That is $9.99. Rami Sue said, BH, how much? If that was for Bobby Whitlock, it's already sold, if that was what BH was for. Also, Douglas MacArthur, Steve Kahn, Guana Songs, Randy Newman, John Renborn, Jesse Winchester, Our Man Flint, Frank Zappa, and Thunderbird. BH was Billie Holiday. Lady in Satin, Rami Lou, that was a 87 remaster, near mint and shrink wrap. Usually these Columbia Jazz masterpieces are really good. They're digitally remastered directly from the original analog tapes. They're digitally remastered, but they usually sound really good. Mark Allen, Sugar Shop would be $25 if you want that one. And how much on Thin Lizzy and WBL? Thin Lizzy was $29.99, but it is worth noting that it does have some cat damage up here at the top. Thin Lizzy has been clawed around the top. The vinyl's very nice, $29.99. And what about WBL? What was WBL? How much was Randy Newman? Randy Newman, Trouble in Paradise is EX $17.99. Chad. E.T. was sealed. This is the sealed E.T. soundtrack and narrated record, $49.99. How much BH? This is BH Billie Holiday. Billie Holiday is $24.99, 87 remaster. Wes Bruce and Lang. Wes Bruce and Lang was $24.99. Let's go ahead and sell these auctions. Eddie Bruce gets Don Henley, Can't Stand Still. Thank you, Eddie, for $25. And Thomas Hujar gets Oscar Peterson for $25. Those are both sold. Charlie DeFrank, the Ventures record is $8 if you want that. $8. Okay, do you ever worry about running out of used records? No. We have 30, 40,000 in the back that we've never priced or put out before. And we're about to start buying again this month. So we will never run out of records. Plus, going back through stuff, we probably have 10,000 priced records out on our floor that we can always go back through. So no, we will never, ever run out of records. We could price 12 crates every day. We usually do 3 to 7 or 8, and we would never run out of records for years. And that's if we buy 0 for like a whole nother year. We probably wouldn't have to buy records for a whole nother year, but we're about to start buying heavily again this month. Jeremiah gets Wes Bruce and Lang actually, I don't know, that might have not been a claim. He was clarifying. Charlie DeFrank gets the Ventures for $8, and Romelu gets Billie Holiday for $19. Okay. You taking offers on the other crates. I don't want to go back through any of the old ones. I mean, if there's something you wanted to make an offer on, let me know, but I'm probably not going to go back through the new arrivals from tonight. We went through those, but if there is something you was interested in, I can try to find it for you. So let's go through, let's see. Let's figure out what we can do here. What time is it? 9. Let's go ahead and go through. I don't want to take the cart to the back yet because we're going to have to reconnect. I was going to say we could either pause here or go till 9:30 and then start part 2 at 10. Let's do that, and I'll just find another crate to go back through up here. Or we can pause now and come back at 9:30 and start from the back. But I'd rather just go through some more stuff up here. But pretty much the stuff in the back is what I really wanted to go through. And I hate to start end the feed this early, but it's going to literally require us having to go to the back. This crate here looks like it's from May. What's all in here? I see, I think we've been through it recently, though. Spanking or Gain, The Kinks, Bob Dylan, Grassroots, Michael Bloomfield, Grassroots, Cornelius Brother. Probably the stuff I really want to go through is in the back. So Denise said she'd give $40 on that one. Let's go ahead and sell that sealed ET box to Denise for $40. Yeah, let me go ahead. We're going to have to go to the back and literally move our cart. We're going to have to reconnect to my phone instead of staying up here and bringing crates. I want to take y'all to the back because we hadn't done that in a long time. And pretty much the rest of the night is going to be an on-sale night in the back. And I'll continue to do auctions. So we're going to pause here. We'll be back like at a little after 9:30 to start part 2. And part 2 will be from like 9:30 till 11 or later. And it will be all in the back doing buy it now, best offer crates. We hadn't been back there in a long time. We usually bring them up here. Some people have never even seen the back part of the store. So we'll do that in like a half hour. We will be back live tonight. 30 minutes or so we'll be back for part 2 doing that. Tommy, I will take your offer on Jam Together. I will find that for $14.99. And the reason we have to stop is we have everything like mounted on a cart. It is movable, but we're connected to an Ethernet connection. And if we disconnect, it's probably going to kill your feed anyway. And we have to get connected to hotspot in the back. We do have more auctions. David, don't assume the worst. You should ask, instead of asking no more auctions, you should say, I look forward to more auctions. Because there will be more auctions. I've got another bin of Japanese stuff right over here. I'm not going to tell you what they are either. You've got to come back at 9:30 Central Time for that. Craig, we have seen your messages. I promise you. I have seen your messages, and Tanner has. Thanks, everybody, and we'll be back in 30 minutes. 30 minutes to start part 2 in the back. Buy it now. Best offer. Vintage material. See you then.